Hey everybody, Michael Batiste from the Elk Calling Academy. This question has come up a few times in the last couple of days, so just thought I'd come in and record a video on this. What we're going to talk about today is external reed cow calls, open reed cow calls. There's a lot of options out there on the market. So I mean, you have wide reeds, you have narrow reeds, you have doubles, singles, tapered reeds, plastic barrels, wood barrels, and you know, the question I get asked a lot is, well, what's the best? What should I use? And honestly, that's a tough question to answer. I actually carry 2 or 3 different external reed cow calls in my pack while I'm out hunting, because each one has a little bit different tone and plays a little bit different role. It really depends on what you want to accomplish. So what we're going to do today, we're going to kind of talk about the different barrel materials. We're going to talk about the different reeds, pros and cons of each, and we'll kind of discuss about you know, how to use an open reed cow call. The drawback to open reed cow calls is it takes at least one hand to operate. So that means you always have something in your hand. You're not hands free. So basically, if you know, you're at full draw, you don't have that ability to do a quick little cow sound on it like you do with a diaphragm to stop that elk in the window. The other thing about open reed cow calls is they really are susceptible to moisture, because as you're using these, there's moisture in your air that's getting trapped underneath the reed and the shelf, and if you get condensation buildup underneath there, then that reed's going to stick. Now, narrow reed cow calls, they don't get influenced as much by condensation as a wide reed does. But on the flip side, a wide reed will kind of give you more gentler, softer tones, where a skinny reed will be sharp and crisp. Now, one other thing that I always recommend and I tell people is all of these calls typically come with a green band. Now, this band does a couple of different things. It's a lip positioner, meaning that you bump your lips up on that each time and you're set each time on exactly the right place. Now, the thing I recommend to people is when you get a call, move that band. You can flip it and move it up and down on the shelf and find that tone you're looking for. Now, here's the other thing that a lot of people don't realize. If you play up towards the middle of the shelf, it's going to give you lower tones. Example, your cows. If you move out on the tip, that's going to give you higher notes and higher tones for calves. So the one call, you can't actually sit there and go back and forth from cow, calf, and you can do a good rendition of a cow-calf communication back and forth talking to each other. There's other things that you can do to change the tone. So like leaving your hand open will let all that sound expand and your volume and everything. As soon as you close your hand, it mellows it out. And here's kind of an example. So it just quiets it down. Now, some calls, like the Primos line, they actually come with the tone converter that does that automatically. Now, the other difference between a wide reed and a narrow reed is a wider reed typically takes a little bit more lip pressure and a little bit more tongue, or a little bit more air pressure to operate, versus a skinny reed. Different materials on barrels. Like I said, a wood barrel, plastic barrel, you know, how do those affect the tone? Wood is not as it's not affected by colder temps like plastic is. So your tones typically kind of stay pretty similar to where they are no matter what the temp outside is. Sometimes you can get a little bit of different tone with a plastic, but honestly, it's such a subtle difference that you probably won't hear the difference. You know, in the past, I've always used a wood barrel because it always seems to me that the tone is a little cleaner. It's a little more natural. So let's kind of go through the different reeds so you can kind of hear. We'll start with the skinny reed, we'll go to a wide reed, and then we'll go to the tapered reed. So again, grab the barrel, and I have tuned this to where I like it. And here's an example. I'm going to bump right up against this for lower tones. And then out on the tip, so good demonstration right there of the different tones. Now we're going to do the same thing on a wide reed. Just so you guys know, this is the Easy Estrus cow call from Phelps. It does come with our Elk Calling Academy logo on it. So this is the Trophy Wife from Rocky Mountain Hunting Calls and Supplies. So again, up against that lip positioner, and then out on the tip. So again, good cow-calf communications. This is the Little Mouth from Native by Carlton. It is a tapered reed. This is a great call if you're on a windy day that you want a call that covers ground that you can get out there and reach. This Little Mouth by Native by Carlton definitely does that really, really well. The Primos Hyperlip Double with Tone Converter, again, same thing. I can play up against the band for lower tones, cow sounds, out on the tip for calf sounds. The thing I really like about this one is this one gets really, really soft. So when you're back there working a bull, or if you're the caller and the shooter, you can take that with a tone converter and point it completely away from the bull, and it makes it sound like that you are quite a bit farther back. Now you can do the same thing with these others. Just close your hand. And it just softens that down, quiets it down a little bit. Here's the Trophy Wife. So now, to answer the question, which one is the best? Like I said before, that's a tough one to answer. Like I said, I carry multiple. The 4 that I just showed right there, I usually have on me at all times. I have one around my neck, and I have the other 3 in the hip pouch on my pack. Now the other nice thing, because each reed has a little bit different tone, a little bit different pitch, I can go back into the same area where I worked bull the day before, pull out a different cow call, and it has just a little bit different pitch, a little bit different tone. But let's say I got in there and I was working a bull and he really, really liked the sound of the call that I was using that day, and we didn't bump him. We didn't get into that human interaction. At that point, I'll go ahead and stay with the same call that I was using the day before. But if for some reason we bumped him or something happened and we didn't get a shot, Most times when I come back in the next day, I'll switch to a different external reed cow call just to change the pitch up a little bit. So there's an example. Easiest way to use these, they are very, very simple. Just if you run it with your top lip, like a majority of the people do, you know, you put your top lip right up there in your bottom lip, and it's the pressure of your lip that actually changes. More pressure, the higher note. Now, some people, these Mylar reeds on these will tickle the top lip, so they actually turn them upside down and run them with the bottom lip. So try it both ways. Try it with your top lip, try it with the bottom lip. See which way you get the most control out of. Everybody's a little bit different on these. Now, we are going to sneak a giveaway into this. I have one more of the special edition Elk Calling Academy Easy Estrus Cow Calls produced by Phelps Game Calls. So it's pretty simple to enter. If you've watched to the end of this video, share this video and then come back into the Elk Calling Academy Facebook page, and in the comments section down below this video, simply type done and tag 3 elk hunting buddies. And we'll let this go until next Sunday, October 7th, and then we'll do a random drawing to give one of these away. All right, guys, as always, hey, I hope you guys had a great year out chasing elk. Sad that it's done. Now we have 11 months to get back to work and start planning for next year. And as always, we greatly appreciate your support. Thanks, guys.